So today we have 7 fragrances that are so loud and strong, they're guaranteed to stand out in any crowd, no matter how jam-packed it is. One of the main issues that you may have when you're exploring this hobby, and you find yourself in positions where you're surrounded by a lot of people often, whether you're going to parties or bars or whatever the case may be, and those are the times where you really do want to smell good, but you find that there are so many other smells and action going on that your scent itself kind of gets trampled a little bit. No one can actually smell you. Now, sometimes you can combat that by simply spraying more. You know, if the fragrance itself is a little bit weaker, that'll work, but it is kind of like a temporary solution. You know, it's not going to work for the entire night, and it'll probably end up wearing off pretty quick, and you'll be back to square one. So we've got 7 super loud, super strong fragrances right out of the gate where you don't have to go too crazy on the sprays, and they're going to be consistently strong and delivering you good projection and performance for several hours for your night. So I will link these down below to discounters, so if you're interested in picking any of these up, you can do so there for prices below retail, which is always helpful. And let's just jump right into it. I want to start it off with one that I haven't talked about in a good while, but I still love. It is Issy Miyaki Nuit d'Issy Noir Argent. This one has leather, myrrh, and olibanum as some of the main notes. Smoky, rich, resinous, and sweet. This stuff is great. I still remember smelling this for the first time. I was so blown away because this is kind of one of those hidden gems, one of those diamonds in the rough, because you guys are very familiar with this brand and this line. I mean, there are so many bottles out there that are shaped like this. And so some are going to be better than others for sure. Some stand out more than others. But a lot of them, especially their summer editions, can kind of run together and smell similar, and they may not really be all that exciting for a lot of us. But this is one of those fragrances that I was kind of going into thinking it was going to be a nice little pickup potentially. It's not all that expensive, so it wasn't too much of a risky blind buy. But when I got it in, I was so impressed. The performance is great, but what impressed me immediately right off the bat was the actual smell. This is unique, this is different, and it definitely stands out. And next up, we have a DNA that has, proven itself time and time again and has stood the test of time for sure. From Versace, this one is going to be Eros, and more specifically, I'm choosing the Parfum because it's my favorite concentration. However, you could go with any version, really. The EDT, if that OG is your jam, which I still love the EDT. The Eau de Parfum is a great one. And even Eros Flame EDP will also work great. For me, this is my choice. Ever since this Parfum came out, it's been my go-to. It's going to have that vanilla apple thing going on with that tonka bean in here. Less mint compared to like the EDT and the EDP, but you still get a little bit of it, kind of a green kick. What I find that I like so much about the Parfum is that it's simply more rich and more grown up. It's still Eros, still youthful and playful, but it goes in a different direction here, being that it's at least a little bit more mature and overall more smooth and refined. I just think it's the better fragrance overall. Now, as I've talked about before, when it comes to standing out, you want to make sure you not only smell your best, but you also look your best. And for me, one of the things I think of when it comes to standing out in a crowd and when it comes to looks is just having a nice, clean, fresh look to yourself. Whether that be you going and getting a haircut, which I'm due for, and actually I'm getting one tomorrow. But another thing you can do that's super easy and takes hardly any time at all is to give yourself a nice, clean shave. If you have a beard, trim it up. Trim up your neck as well. And if you don't have a beard, just a nice, clean shave on your face will really go the extra mile. That's why we partnered with Harry's to be the sponsor of this video. We're going to be going over their starter set today. So Harry's is a shaving brand that provides you the essentials that you need to make sure you're taking care of your facial hair at the lowest possible prices here. What makes Harry's so great is they have some of the sharpest razors in the game. They've been making them in their German factory for years and years at this point. These things are razor sharp. They also have a 100% money back guarantee, so you have nothing to worry about. If it doesn't live up to your expectations, then they got you covered. But I do want to show you this because in your starter set, you're going to get this shaving cream right here. Just takes a very little bit, rub it in until it foams up. It's super silky, super creamy. You get a nice even glide. You're not going to be missing any spots and have patches after you're done shaving. This stuff here is the real deal, and it smells nice too. And then getting into the meat and potatoes, I want to show you this as well real quick. The razor itself, very, very important, right? It's got a nice weighted handle, nice blade guard on there. But you can see, I mean, this thing is premium. And again, very, very sharp. This will get the job done, and you're going to have one of the cleanest cuts you've ever had before, and you're going to be hooked. Now, the best part is you can get this entire set, this entire starter set for only $3 using my link down below. It's going to be the first link at the top of the video description and the pinned comment. $3 for all of this. That is insane. You're not going to find this type of deal anywhere else. And so I highly encourage you to give it a shot. I mean, at this price point, what can you possibly go wrong with? You're going to end up with a shave that you've never had before, super clean cut. You're going to be hooked, and you're going to be looking fantastic. Thank you to Harry's for sponsoring this video. Let's jump back into it. We'll pick this one up with Mancera Instant Crush. Now this one has oud, saffron, vanilla, and basically, this is a sweeter version of Baccarat Rouge 540 by MFK, and also much richer in terms of its actual scent profile. The MFK is very woody and transparent and light. Not light in terms of performance, it's a beast, but light in its delivery and just how it flows through the air. It's very wispy. This stuff is rich and heavy and strong, and it turns heads everywhere. No matter where you're going, no matter how many people around, no matter how many scents there are in the air, this stuff still manages to cut through. It's an eau de parfum, and it's also affordable. You can get these for like $85 for 120 milliliter full presentations, which is a great price for a niche product. This is cheaper than some designer fragrances out there, and the performance and quality is top tier. Next up, Afnan Supremacy, Not Only Intense. So this is a nice Aventus Hassavat hybrid here. And so that's a really nice angle that you don't always see with your typical Aventus clone. Yes, I am aware that those kind of start to run together and get, you know, repetitive and lame and boring and whatever it is, right? I totally understand that people are sick of Aventus clones, but this is one where it's worth checking out due to that Hassavat nature. You know, it has that heavy oak moss and that richer, sweeter pineapple accord in here that you get in Hassavat that you don't really get in Aventus. Aventus all around is fresher. Hassavat is sweeter and richer and heavier and denser and even thicker. It's just a very heavy scent. And so this one kind of strikes a middle ground. Hassavat leaning, but also still has some of those traditional Aventus qualities as well. You can get this one for about $40 online. It's a great performer. It cuts through the air like crazy. Even in cooler weather, it does well, and it turns heads everywhere. Great compliment getter at a low price. Speaking of low price, we have Ferragamo F Black. So this one is actually kind of polarizing. It's not everyone's cup of tea. It's got lavender and black pepper and some tonka bean in here. Gets compared to smelling like baby wipes. And I do actually see where people are coming from with this. The way the lavender comes across, yeah, I do see it. It's powdery as well, so it makes sense, but at the same time, don't take that literally to a heavy extent, because no, it doesn't actually smell like straight up baby wipes. I don't care what anyone tries to tell you. This is a $20 scent for 100 mil, maybe 30 sometimes. At one point it was consistently 20. Prices have gone up, but it's a cheapie, and it is a strong performing cheapie. I mean, this is one of those deals where if you are on a budget, this is a great way to go. When it comes to things in this price point, you really can't be too picky. People seem to want 12 hours performance, compliments falling out of the sky, you know, Xerjoff quality and super uniqueness all packaged into a $25 scent. You're not always going to get that lucky. And while this one does have maybe some drawbacks for some people who aren't a fan of it, all around, it's still a great scent. It cuts through the cold air like nobody's business. I've always described this one to smelling like something a businessman would be wearing while he's walking down the streets of Chicago in the wintertime. And when super brisk out, he's walking in a hurry, he's got to get to the next business meeting. Just has a masculine, confident smell that smells like a guy who knows what he's doing and knows what he's after. And it just really works well, cuts through the air like crazy, and turns a lot of heads. Second to last, we have Dior Homme Intense. So I had to throw this one in here. It's got ambrette, lavender, and of course, the almighty iris note. Nice, sweet, creamy, dusty iris. Chocolatey accords in this one with a little bit of a clean lavender smell. This is delicious. I could almost eat this stuff. It smells so good. You know, it's got a little bit of a gourmand quality to it. I've always loved Dior Homme Intense, and I always will. I love this stuff. And it turns heads. This is the type of thing that you'll walk by a crowd of people and they'll all be looking and trying to figure out what it is that you're wearing. Yeah, it is popular, but nowhere near as popular as the big dogs out there from Dior, like Sauvage and Bleu de Chanel and everything else, right? This one to this day still has that power and that uniqueness about it to turn heads like crazy. And last up, another cheapie we're going to finish the video off with is Bentley for Men Intense. Now this one has incense and rum and woody notes and some, spices, some pepper in here to create a smoky, woody, and boozy men's masterpiece. Really, it's about $25 online, sometimes on clearance for $20. It's a beast mode scent, and it's super mature and a little bit more traditional. Kind of has an older school smell to it, so do be aware of that going into it. But ultimately, this is impressive. I mean, the performance and everything that this one has going on for the price that it is at is nothing short of impressive here. And I love this stuff, especially if you're on a budget and you want something unique and strong performing without having to spend an arm and a leg. This is the way to go. Turns heads all the time. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. 7 fragrances that are loud and strong and will stand out wherever you are. Do make sure to check these out. Use the links down below. And also don't forget to check out Harry's. Use my link down below at the top of the video to get that starter set I was just talking about for only $3. Absolutely insane deal, and I highly recommend for you guys to check it out. If you're wanting to take your shaving game to the next level and get a clean, consistent shave each time, that's the way to go. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.